a chamber, what we can do is build this chemical material that's going to get really hot and blast out the back of the bug. So one of the coolest things about this whole system is got a one-way valve. Once this chemical concoction that's getting really hot starts reacting, the last thing you want is having to blast back into the interior of your body. So it can direct it, squirts out this super hot, super toxic material into that predator's face.
And one has to wonder, what was the evolutionary process of this beetle for that defense mechanism to even exist?
Yeah, that's the critical question. If evolution takes place in step by step, what's the intermediate? How does this thing not blow itself up as it's experimenting through time? How do you go from just a garden variety beetle to a super beetle like this?
One has to wonder if this creature perhaps was brought here in its finished form, or at least the genetic material for this creature came here as a finished product. Could the physiology of the bombardier beetle be proof that there are animals on this planet of extraterrestrial design? The gases that the beetle emits can burn the skin of humans, and if the mechanism it holds within its body was constructed on a larger scale, it could be a very deadly chemical weapon. Is it possible that aliens place certain creatures on this planet so that humans can learn from them and recreate their abilities?
Throughout the animal kingdom, there are other organisms that also have tremendous abilities. The dung beetle is able to pull upwards of 1,100 times its body weight. The mantis shrimp, they can see things like polarized light, UV, infrared light. Squids and octopus basically change their body coloration and the patterns and even the texture of their skin as they move across different substrates, which is just incredible.
Many advances in human technology have been inspired by the animal world, an approach scientists refer to as biomimicry. Airplanes were designed to imitate the winged flight of birds. Military camouflage evolved out of observing the way squid, octopuses, and chameleons take on the appearance of their surroundings. Sonar used in the navigation of submarines and ships is a skill taken from dolphins, whales, and bats, who emit sound waves to locate both prey and predators.
We have stolen so many attributes of animals in the past for our own technologies. We're taking on this worldview of what an animal can do and using technology to rebuild it.
We're taking clues from the natural world in order to develop technologies. This may be part of a greater hidden extraterrestrial initiative, perhaps for a seeding of a technological and human revolution that we're just starting to see now.
Could extraterrestrial beings have intended for mankind to study the other animals of Earth in order to advance our technology, as ancient astronaut theorists suggest? And if so, is this the continuation of an experiment that they have been conducting with different life forms on Earth for thousands of years? Perhaps further clues can be found by examining the recent discovery that humans have not always been the most intelligent animals on the planet. Barcelona, Spain, July 2016. Researchers studying the genome of indigenous Australians living in the Andaman Islands looked up a mysterious kind of DNA dating back 40,000 years. A strand species this DNA belongs to. They theorized that if it commingled with the DNA of humans, it would likely add one more name to the ever-growing list of intelligent hominid species that lived alongside our ancestors. Today, archaeologists have discovered that at least 8 other intelligent human-like species have existed on Earth.
One of the surprises of really the last decade has been that now that we can break into bones and extract ancient DNA, is surprise, that we seem to have been interbreeding with creatures that are not of our species. We've got pieces of DNA, these foreign, if you will, non-Homo sapiens DNA within us.
This discovery adds to the ever-growing list of hominid species that were roaming around the planet in the ancient world. And it brings up the question, just how many other intelligent species were there out there that humans, as we know them, were interacting with? Perhaps we're going to discover fossils of other versions of humanity that were mated or hybrid versions of other animals that we have yet to discover. How is it that there were so many other intelligent human-like species that inhabited the planet thousands of years ago, but only humans remain today? Ancient astronaut theorists suggest that Earth may have acted as a laboratory in which extraterrestrials experimented with various life forms, and as evidence, point to the numerous ancient stories of hybrid creatures.
Hybrid creatures abound in mythology all over the world. We get animals that are partly one thing, partly another. In ancient Greek, we hear about the Cerberus, the terrified three-headed dog who was the guardian of the portal to the underworld. The Greeks also had the centaur, half human, half horse, a large and impressive creature. In Hindu mythology, we have the Naga. These are strange characters, serpent at the bottom, human torsos and heads of faces. Even in the Quran, the horse that was said to have flown Muhammad from Mecca to Jerusalem was a flying horse with a human face.
Either it's all fantasy, or our ancestors witnessed these things, and if they witnessed them, there's 2 options to that. Either these creatures actually came here, or whatever extraterrestrials were here created them. And it's a huge, huge question, because both possibilities, in my opinion, are possible. If the hybrid creatures described in ancient mythologies really did exist alongside humans and other intelligent hominids, is it possible that Charles Darwin's theory of natural selection played a role in the rise of humans after all? Could it be a case of alien intervention on Earth, creating numerous species that were then forced to fight for survival? Perhaps further clues can be found by examining stories of an ancient cataclysm, often referred to as the Great Flood. The Bible teaches us an ancient legend that there was a global flood. We all know that the sins of the people would cause God to intervene. But yet, legends tell us that the actual problem that occurred at this time was an extraterrestrial involvement and manipulation of human genetics. The Bible speaks in Genesis chapter 6 of the sons of God who came down from heaven and took the daughters of men as wives, from which were born a race of titans, Giborim is the Hebrew word, and that they unleashed terror, havoc upon the world. The books of Enoch teach us that these sons of God were the angels who came down from heaven. The development was going in the wrong direction, and then they decided
to start the whole experiment again. They decided to create a great flood. We have stories of the great flood practically all over the world. Not only in the Bible, not only in the Gilgamesh epic, not only in the Enuma Elish from the Sumerian. We have it in Central America among the Mayas. We have it in South America